With the U.S. and Russia at odds over how to best handle NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden, the Obama administration maintains it won't let the Snowden saga sour relations. But that hasn't stopped speculation. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham suggests boycotting the 2014 Winter Olympics should Russia grant Snowden temporary asylum, telling NBC, "If you could go back in time, would you have allowed Adolf Hitler to host the Olympics in Germany? I'm not saying that Russia is Nazi Germany, but I am saying that the Russian government is empowering some of the most evil, hateful people in the world." Graham's longtime Senate ally, John McCain, took a different position, telling The Hill, "There's many things we can do, but I think the experience of canceling the Olympics the last time around wasn't very good. The last time the games were held in Russia, the U.S. led a 61-nation boycott to protest the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan. A writer for The Atlantic remembers the consequences. A Sochi boycott could mean Russia would do what the Soviet Union did in 1984, boycott our Olympics, or those of our allies, which means we'd have to call in Mitt Romney to save them." Snowden's stay in Russia further complicates tensions between the two countries on how to best stop the violence in Syria and deal with Iran's nuclear ambitions. Another complication, President Obama and Snowden could find themselves in Moscow at the same time. Russian President Vladimir Putin will play host to Obama for the G-20 Economic Summit later this month in St. Petersburg, with a meeting planned also between the two leaders in Moscow. On Tuesday, White House Press Secretary Jay Carney said Obama does plan to travel to Russia for the G-20, but left it at that when pressed for more. The White House asserts granting asylum to Snowden, who faces charges of espionage, would essentially give him a propaganda platform to cause further damage to the U.S. But the BBC explains Snowden's asylum request presents a unique opportunity for Russia.
The fact that someone has come to Russia seeking refuge, this gives Moscow the opportunity to say, well, the Russians are protecting human rights.
Still, a Russian studies professor at New York University tells RT, "The key word, if we're going to talk about the practicality of this, is the word temporary asylum. I doubt seriously that Russia or Snowden is thinking about permanent residence in Russia. It wouldn't be good for Snowden, and it wouldn't be good for Russia." Snowden will likely then move on to one of the 3 Latin American countries that have offered him safe harbor. His lawyer told Russia's Interfax news agency Snowden plans to leave the transit area of the Moscow airport in less than a week. The left-leaning countries of Venezuela, Nicaragua, and Bolivia have all offered Snowden asylum. For Newsy, I'm Elizabeth Hagedorn.